The speculation that a member of the Gutfeld family suffered from a neuromuscular disease prompted some fans to begin praying for the family. Fans were overjoyed for Greg and his wife after they welcomed a new baby into the world. Many have wondered why the famous TV personality was absent from the small screen for so long. Considering the dramatic events of the first few days of President Trump's administration, including the overturning of numerous executive orders issued by former President Joe Biden, many of his fans would have loved to hear his social commentary on these topics. The rumor that Gutfeld might return to the stage to merely bid farewell to fans in light of the tragic news about his wife made his relative silence all the more striking. When fans saw Gutfeld on TV looking even thinner, their fears were heightened. Being at home for over 45 days led some to believe he had lost a significant amount of weight. This is how reality and imagination became confused. At last, the fans want to know the truth. To what extent is Gutfeld's wife ill? Do you think he's sick? Is he really going to stop watching TV? In all candor, I believe the first question has the simplest answer, just to spare you the trouble. It has not been reported that Gutfeld's wife is experiencing any health issues. At one point, the most crucial piece of health news was the announcement that she was pregnant. Her husband prefers to keep their family life under wraps, so no one was told that. Rumor mongers, however, have taken it in a different direction, concocting a false narrative about Gutfeld's disappearance in order to profit from it. Forget about the weeks of speculation and chatter surrounding Gutfeld's mysterious disappearance from the spotlight. The TV personality informed the public upon his return that he and his wife had a daughter, Mira, in December. My wife, Elena, and I have welcomed a baby girl into this world with great joy, he wrote in a brief statement, expressing his immense happiness. Mira has a robust constitution and good health. He continued by making a joke about how his daughter inherited his wife's stunning eyes and his strong abs. He pointed out, "We are working hard to teach her 3 languages and make her do very hard workouts." She inquired as to whether Jessie uses a toupee, demonstrating her keen observational skills. Indeed, he does wear a wig, I informed her. The new father is clearly relishing in his role as a parent and is prepared to compliment Mira on any and all abilities she may possess, drawing from his own experience in the role. Gutfeld has stated that he was terrible at everything, but that hasn't stopped him from being forthright about his role. He assured his wife that he was emotionally available to help her change Mira's clothes and feed her in the middle of the night. In an effort to clarify his impact, Gutfeld said, "I sort of wander around and go, 'Is everything okay?' Although I am here to offer emotional support, Elena is quite hands-on, so I try to stay out of her way. She said I'm clumsy and that I'm bad at everything." When his co-host asked Gutfeld what he did while Mira slept, he said that he watched every movie starring Taylor Sheridan. It seemed like Gutfeld didn't get that famous people usually don't admit when they're weak. He came clean and admitted that his wife has been the primary caregiver for their new daughter. However, the TV star may be absolved of his transgressions because he took a significant step toward preparing for his expanding family. He purchased a spacious mansion to raise Mira in with Elena. Gutfeld reportedly spent over $10 million for the Soho mansion, according to recently released property records. Fans were surprised to hear that Gutfeld, who is 60 years old and married, was on father leave for nearly 46 days because they were unaware of this. Your shock is understandable. Gutfeld is very secretive about very little details about himself. On the other hand, his political views could be quite outspoken. On his own social media accounts, he hardly ever mentions his family. While Elena occasionally opens up about her family life, she is more guarded when it comes to discussing her friendship with Gutfeld. During their 20 years of marriage, she has shared a single photo of her husband on Instagram. Not to fret, we have compiled a bit of background on the pair. When asked about meeting his wife for the first time, Gutfeld said he knew they were a perfect match. He admitted it. "When I saw her, I thought, oh, that's my wife. It was in my gut. After that, I spent 3 days in Portugal attempting to communicate with her. They went to Portugal to meet. She was the photo editor for Maxim Russia, while he was the editor for Maxim UK. She wasted no time at all moving to London to be with Gutfeld after their romance began. However, he was let go from Maxim after just 2 years and his contract was not extended. Both partners' careers took off in New York, so the pair decided to remain there. They legally tied the knot in New York during that time frame. You might expect that they haven't discussed their wedding or marriage very much, but as the cool conservative Gutfeld has become a household name and is now Fox News' top dog, their marriage may not have received much media attention. He has come this far by steadfastly adhering to the concepts he developed independently. A native Californian, Gutfeld was brought up in the Catholic faith. He was born in San Mateo. After completing his secondary education at the Roman Catholic all-male Junipero Serra High School, he earned a bachelor's degree in English from Berkeley University. I became a libertarian by being around libertarians, and I became a conservative by being around liberals, he explained, describing the societal shift. You realize that there's something clearly in common between the two groups, the left and the right. The worst part of each of them is the moralizing. Going forward, this perspective would play a significant role in shaping his identity. Understanding his path to libertarianism is somewhat crucial. With the following statement, "When I was a teenager, I was a liberal," Gutfeld explained his transformation in opinion. "I was able to improve my grades by collecting signatures for the Nuclear Freeze Initiative." He could tell that teachers genuinely cared about their students and their friends if they saw that you were interested in something. Liberals' ideas didn't require much consideration from those who agreed with them. He was able to capitalize on this position because of it. He points out, "I thought that was great because it really helped. I thought I was a fraud after a few school debates that required me to think critically, but it did help me get better grades overall. Going to Berkeley and starting to evaluate myself was a mistake. A mark on your back didn't stop you from going about your business." Libertarianism was his political philosophy, and he continued by saying, "On the left, there are people who want to tell you how to behave under the guise of tolerance unless you disagree with them. At that point, tolerance becomes meaningless and patience is thrown out the window." The moralizing that is culturally appropriate is right there. When you join the conservative movement, you also join the church, which teaches people morality, but when you remove those two factors, what remains is libertarianism. Gutfeld, the charming conservative, was first known to fans in that capacity before he became famous in the United States as a television host, political analyst, creator, and comedian. The Five and Gutfeld on Fox News are also included. He was no different from any other recent college grad seeking his first job in journalism. He managed to secure a position as a secretary at the conservative publication American Spectator despite attending Berkeley. "It was at the American Spectator that the actor got his start in the industry," he announced. "For a little over a year, I was Bob Tyrrell's assistant. Along with a number of other things, I chauffeured him around in his diesel Mercedes and tallied up his library's volume. I photographed his belongings as an extra precaution. Bob Tyrrell is absolutely bonkers, but he's a fantastic bonkers." After that, he gave screenwriting a shot, but it didn't pan out. He struck it rich when he landed a job at Prevention, a health-oriented lifestyle publication. Here is where Gutfeld started experimenting with drugs and alcohol at a startling pace, which was funny. He eventually became the group's editor-in-chief after landing a position as a staff writer at Men's Health. Following that, he rose through the ranks to become head editor of Stuff, a publication owned by Dennis Publishing. But he was soon let go from his job due to rumors that he teased the Girl Scouts, cat lovers, and even his boss. Not only that, but there was also another event where a number of hired midgets were present. At last, it's clear. A few dwarves were sent by Gutfeld to attend a meeting of the Magazine Publishers of America, where he instructed them to be extremely disruptive and noisy. The degree to which those two things would diverge is obvious. Gutfeld was promptly let go by his superiors due to their disapproval of the joke's viral success. In the UK, he took over as editor of Maxim for Dennis Publishing following his dismissal as head of brand development at Stuff. As a result of a decline in readership during his tenure, his contract was not renewed. Subsequently, he began contributing to the fledgling Huffington Post. His newfound audience enjoyed his satirical and humorous posts, which led to an interview and eventual employment with Fox News, where he hosted the one-hour program Red Eye. Despite his belief that his time with magazines had come to an end, television did not completely dissuade him from writing. Being an editor isn't a real job, and magazines are fun to work at. This was made pretty clear in his writings about the magazine business. No one's lives are being saved, the nation is in